What's going on, my people? What's going on, people? Let's talk about a little bit about faith. Faith without works is dead. And what I mean by that is, in life, man, a lot of us do some crazy things to make a certain amount of money, to create a certain lifestyle for our family. As I was growing up, the saying was, go to school, get good grades, and come out here in this lifetime, go to college, find that corporate job, spend the next 20 and 30, maybe 40 years, and you come out and retire with a 401k, a pension, and live happily ever after. Well, fortunately, it ain't like that no more. There's so many jobs these days that don't even have pensions no more. All they're giving you is a 401k, which is nothing wrong with that. But the way I look at things is to be, if you want to be wealthy, having just a 401k, it's not going to cut it. Because I'm 42. So, say in 24 years, I retire. What, 20, say 25 years I retire. Right? So, that'll put me at, 67? So, retire at 67 in the next 25 years. You see how inflation is now? With grocery, everything's expensive. Medical, expensive. What do you think the life gonna be then? How you think everything gonna be? Everything's gonna be very high. Everybody knows health insurance. Health insurance is extremely high. So like I've always said, I've even told my kids this, because we talked about it. When I was growing up, the American dream was go to school, graduate, go to college, get a great job, buy your house with a white picket fence, get you a nice car, and hey, travel and enjoy life. Well, that's not the American dream anymore. In my eyes. The American dream is multiple streams of income. So that means if you have your 9 to 5, you work your 9 to 5, but also you have another stream of income, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 on the side that's generating you money while you sleep. That way, if anything happened to you with your job, you're not relying or going crazy because you've lost your job. You're like, hey, you know what? I lost my job, that laid me off. Not too much concern. I have lots of reserves put away. And not only that, I'm having maybe 5-10 grand that's coming in a month from my multiple streams of income, so I'm not worried about it. So that's the way I look at things. You can't just solely rely on just a 9 to 5. Before you could, you get a job, you be like, man, I got job security. Hey, I'm good, man. Hey, I don't gotta worry about nothing. But now these days, there's people in the tech field, in all industries, that are getting laid off left and right. You know, you think, man, tech field, why in the tech field, man? I mean, that's what we need, but hey, people are scaling back. Companies are scaling back. So you have to, if you're gonna quit your job, your 9 to 5, just don't quit on a whim. Sit down, make a plan. Put a plan in place and go from there. Like I said, put a plan in place. If you want to quit, you want to start your own, you want to become an entrepreneur, but you're going to work more than what you work and, on your job. But at the end of the day, if that's what you want, if that's what's going to make you feel free, then go for it. It's one of them things, man. Like, you have to really sit back and think about what your purpose is. Like I said, entrepreneurship, everything is on you. You have no investment accounts. You have no health insurance. Now, if you're married, maybe you can get on with your wife insurance, and she pay for the insurance, and then you start your own, your Roth IRA or whatever. There's ways to make it, man, but you gotta have faith and you gotta work. You can't have faith and not work because it's dead. So you gotta have faith and get out there and do it. Anything is possible. And you gotta figure out, like I said, some people don't want to be wealthy. Some people don't want to be rich. They just say, hey man, as long as I can pay off my house, pay off my cars, have a couple years of reserves saved up, I have $1 million or $2 million in my 401k when I retire, me and my wife, we good. Some people vision is like, nah man, I need 5-10 million put away. I want to be able to drive and buy the cars I want. I don't want to have to wait till I'm, 67, 70 years old to buy the cars that I want, drive the cars I want, buy the house I want. I don't want to have to wait till I'm of age. And that's what I can say, growing up, that was what I was told from the older generation. Hey, you get your job, you work, you stay on that job, retire. Certain cars you shouldn't be buying, like supercars, or not even supercars, but sports cars, Corvettes, Mustangs, all these cars that young guys and girls are driving now. A lot of people look down on, like, oh man, you shouldn't be spending 80-90 grand for a muscle car, or going to spend $200,000-$300,000 for a supercar. Oh no, that's what you should be buying when you get of age and your wealth is. Nah, man. To me, I used to think like that, but nah, man. Tomorrow ain't promised. 5-10 years is not promised. So you got to get it now. If you want to drive a supercar, you want to drive your favorite muscle car, your favorite sports car, you can do it. You just got to figure out how you're going to do it, what's the best financial way to do it, and do it. Don't listen to people telling you that you got to wait till you 60, 70 years old to go buy a supercar, or buy your sports car, or muscle car, or whatever. Nah, man. Same thing with a house. You just have to figure out what's the best financial way for you to afford that stuff. Because, like I said, 55, 60, 70 years old, it's not promised. It ain't promised. So everybody has a certain lifestyle or how they want to live their lifestyle. Certain people have a number of how much money they want to make a year to be financially set, to feel comfortable in a safe space. Everybody different. If that means that I have to quit my 9 to 5, maybe start a business, or maybe quit this 9 to 5 and find another 9 to 5 where I can start, median, maybe making 70, 80, but there's room for me to grow to the point where I can make, $250,000 a year and get bonuses and stuff. Maybe that's what I want. That's the route I want to go. But you got to figure out. You can have faith, but without work, it's dead. So we have to make sure we're mindful that we're doing what we have to do in our best interest. Like, Faith without work is dead. Just don't be on social media listening to your favorite content creator telling you just to quit your job. No, you don't want to do that. Unless, if you're young, you got no wife, no kids, and you're living at home with your parents, all right, yeah, go ahead, quit your job. You got room to play around. You got room to grow. Quit your job and figure out what you want to do. Yeah, quit your job. Go ahead, quit. But when you quit, you got to figure out what you want to do. But if you got a wife and you got kids, especially little kids at home, and your wife is not working, now you can't quit your job, man, until you have a plan. You got to make a plan in place. Once you get that plan in place, figure out what you want to do. Like I said, there's nothing wrong working a 9 to 5, but it's all about what you want out of that 9 to 5. We can't just be like, oh, I'm working a job, I'm going to work here 30, 40 years, and that's it. I'm going to stay at the bottom. Okay, I'm making my 80, 90, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to want to know how to grow, and you got to figure out what the purpose is, man. That's how I look at it when it comes to working a 9 to 5. I'm getting older, and I'm starting to think like, depending on, there's some companies out there that take care of you. There's some companies out here, you're just a number. You're going to get out the mud. You're going to get out there, you're going to work hard. We don't care about you the minute you do something. You're written up, then you're fired. So I can see why a lot of people are going the entrepreneur route. I see that's why you have some people that's going to survive an entrepreneur. Some people are going to fail and they're just going to give up. Because of a lot of these companies not caring about you. A lot of these companies not caring. You're just a number. Get out there and do the job, and you're going to do what we say, and that's it. If you're not going to do what we say, we're going to write you up, and eventually we're going to get you up out of here. To me, that's not how anybody should be treated. And if you've been treated like that, man, hey, you find you another 9 to 5. Or stick with that 9 to 5, and then you always want to start a business, do it on the side. See how you can do it on the side. See how you can scale it on the side. Once you do it on the side and you scale it and you feel like it's profitable to the point where you can quit that 9 to 5, just don't quit. Put in your 2 weeks, do your 2 weeks, and then hey, move on. But I'm not a fan of folks staying in a toxic job, just like folks staying in a toxic relationship with an individual. No, you got to get out and you got to move on. So that's what you got to think about. Remember, faith without works is dead. Think about it. Make that game plan and move on. It's going to be scared, but you got faith, you believe in God, you pray about it, God going to make a way. Just like that job that you're working right now where you're making 6 figures, you know what I'm saying? You had to do some stuff to get there. You probably prayed about it. God made a way. God see that you had faith. You were working towards this and that, and He made it. He opened the door. Same thing. You want to go the entrepreneur route. It's going to be hard, but if you got faith, you're working towards it. I'm a firm believer that He gonna open the door and you gonna be good. So that's what I'm saying, man. All right, like, subscribe. Hey, I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. And just don't quit your 9 to 5 on a whim because you hate your boss and all this micromanaging going on. Let's put a plan in place. Let's put that faith and that work together and go from there. All right.